More on this. I'm joined by Mike Backel, sports managing editor for the Daily National. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, sir. And I imagine you've been following this all week long as well. The election is settled. Now what?
Now what? I think it's going to come down to what the authorities find out, what the authorities here in the U.S. with the FBI, and possibly new findings from some Swiss authorities and possibly other international bodies of law that may be going after not only Sepp Blatter, but also other FIFA officials. How far up is this actually going to go? That's when the dominoes may begin to fall.
Before the election, some had called for a delay of the election. Obviously, they elected not to do that. With that, now what happens to the sport? And do you think what was the reason why they decided not to delay the election?
Well, I think they wanted to just push this through. This is much the way that Blatter has ruled over these last 17 years, and he's got 4 more years coming up. You know, we'll be interested to see if that's going to be 4 more years of terror. And the same way that he has governed for these last years, will he have any capacity to clean up any of the corruption and the scandal, the infrastructure that he has created? Really a system where a lot of these bribes and this $150 million in bribes and payments over these last 2 decades, you know, they did not hold off on this vote because, quite frankly, they wanted to just push this through. I think there's a lot of sentiment inside of FIFA that they want this story to go away, and I really don't think it's going away, not for any time soon.
I mean, look, I can sense the skepticism, not just from you, but from a lot of reports that I've read. And I'm wondering, okay, so if these allegations don't get FIFA to make any significant changes, what about the sponsors? I mean, what role do they have, and is there anything they can do that perhaps might push it along?
Well, I think it will take one of those major sponsors. Your business correspondent just before me was speaking about Visa, talking about looking into their relationship. Now, here's the problem with Visa. They have a sponsorship agreement through the next 2 World Cups, so they have hundreds of millions of dollars invested in this, much like Adidas, much like McDonald's, much like Coca-Cola. So you're looking at these major Fortune 500 companies that have millions of dollars invested in campaigns promoting in international audiences. You know, you take a step back and you look at the Super Bowl. Here in America, we talk about how universal that is. 100 million people watch the Super Bowl. The World Cup has billions of viewers and billions of dollars. So it's really going to take one of these sponsors, one of these companies to really step out in front. If a Coca-Cola or a McDonald's was able to do something to break away from FIFA and to break away from, you know, potentially saying, if Sepp Blatter is going to be running FIFA, we don't want anything to do with it. I think we may be seeing other companies do that, but until one of these companies makes that initial stand, I don't think anything will change from the sponsor standpoint.
Qatar, Russia, both very much in the spotlight. What should we expect?
Well, once again, I'm going to use that word, billions of dollars being poured into stadiums, slave labor in some circumstances, some allegations being made. But I think those two may be the two wild cards that really may bring down FIFA and Sepp Blatter. That's where everyone started shining their spotlight and saying, what is going on? How could Qatar, how could Russia be awarded these games? They really put the spotlight on some of the voting processes and the infrastructure of corruption that he created.
Mike, I got to put you on the spot very quickly. Do they keep the games there?
They keep the games there only because so much has been put into the infrastructure.
Mike Backel, sports managing editor, Daily National. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.